Welcome to October 2020 Energy Trends. I'm Danielle Rama Hoffman of DivineTransmissions.com. This is Toth with an expanded intergalactic council flight, including the Emerald Ray being of light, moving more into the forefront of this divine transmission. In the first energy trends of this month of October 2020, we have spoken about the power of color. In this energy trends, the Emerald Ray, the U Ray from the Council of Light book, is stepping forward as a particular bandwidth of color. And emerald is related to as above, the emerald tablets, as above, so below, as within, so without, that we speak about in the Tablets of Light book. For this month, as we are delighted to be continuing our energy trends conversation with you in the month of October, we are inviting you to really be focused on the vibration of you. That the emerald ray, the U ray, the emerald tablets, the as above, so below, as within, so without, are calibrated in such a way that you are actualizing one of the universal truths, the spiritual truths, the higher wisdoms that you know to be true in the energy planes on the physical plane. That October is a beautiful month to really be in a state of alignment, to be in a state of really embodying that which you know is true, capital T truth, in the higher planes, in all of the spaces of above, below, within, and without. And so at first glance, you may say, well, easier said than done. This is something that you have been up to for quite a while, to have this alignment, this coherence between the higher spiritual truths or consciousness truths or universal truths that you know, and then to be realizing them, to be actualizing them in the physical plane. Well, this is what we would place on the altar for October. So what are some examples of this? Well, we speak a lot about birthrights, that it is your natural state or your birthright to be in a state of joy, that this may be a higher consciousness truth that you're aware of, and yet you may not be actualizing joy in as many now moments on the physical plane as you know is this birthright or is this truth. Again, with the birthrights, that the birthright of abundance, you may know that abundance is a divine truth, and yet you may not be experiencing that abundance on the physical plane. Or you may know that in the higher planes, you are a creator being, and that you create your experience, and anything in your experience has been created by you. You may have that really consciously in your repertoire of consciousness tools. And at the same time, you may on the physical plane not be fully realizing or actualizing that higher plane universal truth, that you are a creator being and that you can create, consciously create. You may have, as more and more of these spiritual truths, the sense of, and this is what we're really also inviting you to fold back into the oneness, back into the wholeness, is that these spiritual truths these universal truths and the absence of experiencing them on the physical plane may be creating a sense of a, uh, a ripple or a wobble or friction or a sense of sometimes what can begin to happen is almost this sense of hopelessness or helplessness. Now, this may not be where you are, and it may be where you are, or the sense of like settling for what you can get rather than what you know that you're here to create, or the sense of it's easier to not have this universal truth very much in the forefront of my awareness, because when I do and I don't experience it here on the physical plane, then that creates some kind of greater separation or greater separation consciousness, survival consciousness, or disconnect from source. So we recognize that that may be the case in as we open up this beautiful box of universal truths, and then the ones that really are primary for you that you're not experiencing on the Earth star for you. Now, we're not talking about the entire globe and what everybody else is up to. We're talking about you, for you. If you know, as we very much are, as a key foundation of what we're up to in divine transmissions, is equanimity, is equality, divine to divine, that is a given. There isn't any one of you or us that is more or less than anyone else. And that is that equality. And yet you may look around the Earth star and that's not the experience that you see. You see a lot of power over, power under. You may, in your own relationship with yourself, be acting out that power over, power under, unconsciously or even consciously. And so this is what we mean by lining up. If this is a given for you in the higher planes, if this is a core, whatever this is, we've spoken about joy, we've spoken about abundance, we've spoken about equality. If this is a core universal truth for you, that you know that you're here to embody, to experience, to model, to mentor, to lead in consciousness, then we would invite you to fall back into the oneness, that sense of gap or separation with it, and align with it, experience it on the Earth star, so that you're above of these spiritual truths and you're below of your physical plane are all lined up. So one key that you can do is just tap into this, the joy of abundance, the birthright of abundance, or joy, or equanimity, and just tune into the emerald ray. And you may even say, as above, so below, as within, so without, that this abundance, this joy, is as above, so below, as within, so without. And not in a way that it looks like how you think it should look for somebody else, yet really you and your way. So as we're moving towards a place of completion, we would invite you in October to be even more lining up with what you know is above, in your below, and that which you know is within, in your without, and that which you know, which is your without within, and that which you know, which is your below with above. All is light and love, and we are all.